All right, ladies, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the quiz project. But as usual, I'm always on the go, so I gotta get going here. Just bear with me while we stream and roll. So the quiz project is basically to create an interactive quiz that you guys can use to study from. So it's a question and answer format, multiple choice, how many states are there in the United States? Is it, press A if it's 50, press B if it's, 100, that kind of thing, right? And then at the end of the quiz, there's a scoring that's being done in terms of how many questions you got right versus how many you got wrong. Just bear with me 1 second. I got to take off the mic. So you get a percentage score at the end of the test. And that's the basic idea. And we did that. And I believe what we created was fully functional. Now, all of you guys should have played around with the code already and perhaps modified it. That's how you learn, from practice, right? Now, the next step with the quiz project would be to create the quiz creator script. So basically that's a script that is going to create the quiz script. Now this is where things can get a little bit confusing. You want to talk about inception. That is absolutely the case here, because you're creating a script that creates another script. So it can easily get very confusing in terms of when you're working on the code. You have to, I think this is actually good practice in terms of programming practice for someone who doesn't really have much programming experience, because the process of keeping track of which script you're referencing, so whether you're referencing the current script, which is the quiz creator script, or you're referencing the script that the quiz creator is going to create, I think keeping track of that stuff. Wow. I don't know why this says reboot system. I don't want to, what is it doing? Power down. How about that? What is this? Volume up and down to move highlights. Sorry about this, guys. I don't know what my tablet's doing. Reboot now. I don't know. All right. So basically, being able to keep track of those things, I think, are good skills that'll come in handy for someone who is new to programming. And even if you've been programming before, I think it would be a worthy exercise. But nonetheless, it is going to get confusing for many of you, if not all of you. So I think this might very well actually be the most challenging code that we have done to date, because everything so far has been pretty straightforward until this project, because again, this is going to be confusing. So let me give you guys a heads up in terms of, I don't know if I should cover what's going to be the most confusing, like what are the elements, so you prepared for them, so it can make it a little bit easier for you guys. Or if I should just cover this basic structure in terms of what the script is supposed to do. Let's see. All right, let's do a little sort of pseudocode exercise. So we're going to talk about what the code is supposed to do, the basic functions. All right? And I'm going to have to talk and ride. I have an appointment. Someone is coming to meet me. I got to get going. So basically, where's my, I think I'm forgetting something. Possibly. So the basic function of the quiz script, quiz creator script, oh man, these bugs are killing me right now, is to obviously build, what the hell is my sunglasses? I think I left them over here. I don't see them. So the basic function is to create a quiz. So what does that mean exactly? Like, we have to be very specific about what we're saying here. So to create a quiz, you have to, I don't know where I put my sunglasses. They're not on my head. I don't see them. All right. So the basic functionality is to ask questions in terms of, you need to establish what the questions are going to be for the quiz, and you need to ask what the answer is so you can confirm that the user enters the correct answer, so you can obviously score them. I don't know where this is. I think it's in my glasses, my bag. Yeah, it's my glasses in my bag or something. I gotta get going. So you need to be able to validate whether the person has entered the correct answer. You need to keep track of how many questions have been asked, how many have been answered, how many are correct versus how many are wrong, because you need all these variables to be able to give a score in the end. This gear is not gonna work for me. I think that's about it. So it's like, what is question number one? Question number one is, so then you enter the input. So question number one is, how many states in the United States, right? So user enters 50. Then if 50 matches what we put in the quiz, you know, then it's a correct answer. The thing about it is, I'm actually getting back into the quiz logic itself, but I don't want to talk about the quiz logic. I want to talk about the quiz creation logic. And the quiz creation logic would basically be, let's see, what's a good way to think about this? Think of it as, you are a person. Oh, nice. Someone had one of those three-wheel motorcycles I just saw. So you're a person who can build a quiz script, which you are because I showed you guys, right? You can build a quiz script. You just need to know what the questions are and what the answers are, basically, right? So the quiz script is basically, quiz creator script is basically the person answering the questions of what are the questions and what are the answers. The main confusion that you're going to run into is variables. The quiz creator script is going to have its own native or local variables, but then this quiz script that you're creating will also have its own variables. Let me give you an example. One of the variables is the answer that the user will enter, right? That's a variable that should only be visible to the quiz script itself, right? So when you are referencing this variable in the quiz creator script, you need to do so in a manner that is literal. You're gonna have in the quiz logic or syntax, which you would use for variable setting, but you need it to be literal, because in the quiz script, the remote variables are not themselves variables in the quiz creator script. I know it's kind of confusing. It's hard to explain. I think it'll be much better when we start actually doing the coding. But basically, there's going to be some, like, okay, so corn. The notation is $, and then variable name, right? Okay. Whatever the person types in for the answer, quiz creator script. It needs to be literally $, answer. Meaning the $, needs to be demoted so that it's no longer treated as a special character, because that variable belongs to the remote script or destination script, not to the quiz creator script, right? So that's the main thing. I'm not going to go into too much detail because, once again, it'll be much easier for you guys to understand once we get into it. And I got to hurry up, pick up the speed here. The main thing for you guys will be to be able to specify the main difference between local variables versus remote variables. So remote being the variable thing, right? Not the one that you're currently writing. The other thing will be similar context. Wrong gear. Got my gear game all messed up because I'm trying to talk, do a live stream and ride a bicycle at the same time. Quotes will be a problem because you're gonna need things to generate, right? Sometimes for them to be, I'm actually sending script. I'm quoting something locally in the current code. Now, once again, we'll look at this in more detail when we start doing the actual coding. So it'll be much more clear then, but to work is by being efficient. I knew I was going to go for a quick ride, so I figured I can do a quick live stream to talk about what's next, which is the quiz creator script, to kind of get some thoughts out there and get you guys on the right page. And then we'll go into more detail when I actually get on the computer and do a live stream, a real live stream on the computer, so you guys can see my terminal and everything. All right, I got a guy over here waiting for me, so stay tuned. I'll get another live stream in another few hours or so. All right, guys. Bonjour. CPU Squad out.